This has now become, this is actually the second annual concert of 2014. Because the first was on June 6th, and you know why it was on June 6th? Because of the ice storm. January 6th. No ice storms in June 6th. Yeah. January 6th. So this is our second one, but I think it's about the fourth in general, right? And this is it's a kind of tradition that I used to do it in England with my sort of by my parents, a kind of charity concert at Christmas, and we're carrying that on here. The next thing I'd like to say is that actually there is one member of the band who isn't here, and that's Sabatino's 2-year-old son, who was rehearsing with us yesterday. We went there, and I went up there, and unfortunately he was unable to go to the childminder because her child was ill, so he hung around on Sabatino's knee because he didn't want to occupy himself, and occasionally would kind of hammer notes out in the middle when he felt there was something missing in the middle.
I can lend you Daniel.
And in fact, such was his influence and artistic editing that when it got to the last movement, the Brahms Violin Concerto, he started slamming the piano lid on Sabatino's fingers. As a result of which we decided not to play the last movement of the Brahms. Mainly because we had about an hour yesterday, and Sabatino got stuck in traffic on the way down, and we've had about 20 minutes today, so we're doing this program on fairly limited time. But I mean, it has to be said that Sabatino had a concert of, he was playing to 1,000 people last night, and he has another concert tomorrow, and when I was there he was rushing off to a memorial, so the fact that he's actually managed to come all the way down from Cambridge and squeeze us in is wonderful. So we're going to start off with, so tonight we're playing, this is a sort of an education in concerti, if you like, concerto. So we're going to start off by playing you Winter from Antonio Vivaldi, and obviously this is actually designed or written for a string orchestra and a solo violin. And the idea of a concerto is that it really pits one group of players against another group of players. And it started in the kind of Baroque era, so around about 1700 earlier, 1650. And you'd have a large body of instruments, and then there'd be a smaller body of instruments called the concertanti, and they would kind of fight it out. They'd sort of, they'd share the music around, and then kind of occasionally they'd play together. And so this is how it originated. And Vivaldi actually wrote this for his orphanage. So he was the music master in an orphanage called the La Pieta in Venice. And it was a girls' orphanage. And the most famous violinist at the time, the most gifted violinist at the time was Anna Maria della Pieta, which is pretty interesting given the patriarchal kind of male-oriented history of music. So this is who, it's Maria that this would have been written for. So this concerto, as most concertos, have kind of 3 movements or sections, and they contrast in speed. So what you see in front of you is when it's got the Italian, it's got allegro, non troppo, and then largo, which is slow, and then another allegro. And Vivaldi, this is really the first example of program music. So later on in the Romantic era, composers started to write programs. They started to write a story, which their music would kind of tell. Pictorially, sound, if you like, much later, because Strauss and people like that. But Vivaldi did this already with this concerto, and so he wrote a poem. So the first, the poem to begin with for the first movement says, "Shivering, frozen mid the frosty snow in biting, stinging winds, running to and fro to stamp one's icy feet, teeth chattering in the bitter chill." And he actually, when you look at the score, each of the lines or the words go to a different part of the music. So we start off with this shivering, and actually the shivering is this kind of... And then when we're stamping our feet, it's... You can imagine that. That's the stamping of the feet, and then the teeth chattering comes later on. sometimes the Largo. I've played it about weekly at weddings. But this is about resting contentedly beside the hearth while those outside are drenched by pouring rain. You have to remember, it's rain in Italy, not yet snow. And then the Allegro begins, so the poem is, we tread the icy path slowly and cautiously for fear of tripping and falling. And so it kind of starts off with this sort of fairly soon. And then we have, I'm going to get the key right. So you're going to hear lots of things, and you can, I mean, obviously you don't have to stick to this program, but it's kind of interesting that he did that. So, here we go. And Sabatino is also going to play around with the sound of the piano. Okay, so now we move on. How many years? 100 years or so? 18, I guess late 1900. So about 150 years. So the concerto is changed dramatically and has become, in some senses, a real kind of showpiece. Around this time, you have people like sort of Paganini, who became really with Paganini was the sort of first kind of Elvis Presley, sort of a superstar. You know, he had a kind of persona and he was marketed and he went around and it was all about flash and showing off. Nevertheless, Paganini's works are actually, they've got something to them. Brahms wrote these concerti, two famous piano concertos, and then this violin concerto. And they're more like symphonies, they're really more like orchestral works. And it's not really a question of simply the violin showing off, it's really the orchestra is as important. And there's a real battle between the two, I'd say. I think what we do is, I mean, it's interesting, last year I played the Mendelssohn violin concerto. This is and then Mendelssohn's relatively straightforward compared to this. Brahms really didn't write anything. He wasn't a violinist, he was a pianist. And so much of his writing is for the piano, so you can imagine him sitting at home composing this on the piano without really any consideration for what the violin can actually do. So none of it really kind of falls under the hands, and he does these things like, he gives you tenths. So that's like, I'm alright doing it, just about. It's the stretch of the fingers that's the problem. Yeah, I mean, Perlman doesn't have any problem, he can stretch. But so there's a lot of kind of technical difficulties in this. But I thought what we just do is just look at the opening. So we're going to play the first and the second movement. And like many, I mean, it's interesting, last year we played the Mendelssohn and literally the orchestra had about a bar and a half and then the violin came in. With this, the orchestra has a massive, great kind of introduction. And it sets out the main kind of tunes, the main themes that are going to happen in this movement. And it rises to this peak, and then at the peak or the climax, then the violin enters, and it's a very cadenza-like, it's a very flourishy, virtuosic-like passage which brings us back finally to the opening tune. And what I think is interesting about the opening tune, it's very simple. So it's essentially an arpeggio. It's a broken chord. But instead of writing is all around the notes of the D major arpeggio. It's a simple, like a hunting horn. He kind of adds this other notes, and instead of going, he goes, which just makes all the difference. And this note, this B, later on he flattens it, so then we end up with this B flat, and so when the violin comes in, then we get this kind of minor sound. So we get from this very simple to adding a B. Just that extra little kind of note is what makes it kind of interesting. And then later on he flattens that B and it turns it completely upside down into a different key. And this already, this kind of like changing of the kind of planes or the sounds or the moods, if you like, happens very, very quickly. So if Sabatino can play, you're going to hear, we're going to get and suddenly we're going to be in A major. And then the next, when the tune comes in again, the next bar, he goes into C major. That's it. Can you just play that?
It's quite a juxtaposition. We start in D major. Pretty straightforward, no surprises. A major, and suddenly C major.
You get this
Very jarring.
complete change of mood. And you're going to you're going to hear it changing the whole time during the orchestral introduction, which we decided Sabatino is going to play you. And then, as I say, the violin comes in the midst of all this, and there's this kind of, it's quite interesting. So I have diminuendo written the whole time, and yet actually in my diminuendo, while the music seems to be going down, I'm constantly going up. So Sabatino is constantly coming down as well, and I'm kind of going up, but we sort of arrive eventually at this, you'll hear the beautiful D major tune again. Okay, so that's as vague as I can get. So you have to remember that all of the piano part is a reduction of the orchestral part. So now what you're going to hear is a beautiful woodwind choir.
Sound like woodwinds to you? It's a nice oboe solo.
Sorry, we're going to play something in the same spirit, but shorter. And I played it a couple of years ago. It's a piece by Kreisler, and it's called Preludium Allegro. Fritz Kreisler was a violinist in sort of early 19th century, and he was counter to the sort of image of you know, kind of like international soloists who are practicing 8 hours a day and have to look after their hands. Kreisler sort of ate and drank and spoke 7 languages and played ping pong and did all of this and then got up and played some piano. He could have been a doctor, he could have been a violinist, he could have, but so he's a sort of person, you know, when you're getting stressed about the pressures of international life, I guess you would like to be like. So anyway, and he wrote all this music, and the way he got it published was by using Baroque names and putting them in front of his, because back then, you know, you had to be a name, not a performer, you had to be a composer name. So this piece actually says Pugnani Kreisler, whoever the hell Pugnani was, but we all know who Kreisler is. And yeah, so. You're in?
You just sing now. Okay.
Can I have a program? Can I, Shelley, can I have a...
Program too.
Okay.
Some of you have, will come on.
Okay,
For the next one.
so I was Googling this the other day. I decided that we could just about manage this. I might get the key. Good, God bless you. God bless you. Good. Okay, so we're doing the Christmas round and it's on your program. And we're all going to sing it together to begin with. Do you find it? Have you found it? Under the thing that says Christmas round. That will be what the indication is. Okay, and it goes like this. Okay, it goes, God bless all good friends here with a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. That's it. So the scale goes up. Ready? Ready? 3, 4. God bless all good friends here with a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Again. God bless all good friends here with a very Merry Christmas and a Happy One last time. God bless all good friends here with a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Very good. Well done. Okay, now it gets just a bit more complicated. Not very complicated, but we're going to divide it into two. This side is way bigger than the other side, but I'm confident. Well, we have Neil from Germany, who's a musician, so he is going to lead us. Okay, so these guys are going to start off, and then when we get to God bless all good friends here with a God bless, it's going to be with a God. Okay? Okay? Okay, let's see where we can go. Ready? So, 3, 4. God bless all good friends here with a God bless all happy New Year. With a God bless all happy friends here with a God bless all happy New Year. We've got to sit down there like it. Okay, so that kind of got us warmed up. So now we're going to try O Come All Ye Faithful, which I think we can just about manage. And Sabatino is going to play the piano with us. Can you give us, do we know O Come All Ye Faithful?
I think so.
And we feel happy about singing? Aaron?
He's listening.
Okay, how many verses? Oh, 3. Right, okay. If you know the discount, does anybody know the discount here? Oh, come on. I'll play the discount. Okay. So should we give them a yeah. So this is the intro. Okay. Okay, now you have the option to sing it in English or German.
Yes, we need more. Yeah, they need something there.
One more?
I'm going to.
Do you have more? Yes. There's a whole pile of them here. Somebody else need one? Ready? Sit.
Now I wasn't very sure whether I was going to include this, but you guys are so unbelievable. Definitely going to do. So, do we know Good King Wenceslas? Yes. Good. Yes. Okay. So it's a kind of a boy-girl thing going on in this.
Join him for whatever.
Yeah. No. Women have got to sing the boy's part. When the page is speaking, women sing. And when the king is speaking, the men sing. We could become politically correct and do it the other way around if you want. But I think we won't. I think we'll stick with tradition. So, and then everybody else sings everything else. Okay, so when it comes, second verse, hit the page and stand by me, the guide. Okay? And then when it says, side he lives a goodly tense, that's the girls, right, okay. You're looking a little uncertain. Okay.
As long as there's some guys who know it,
Okay, so this is the last line, introduction, and we all sing the first one. 3, 4.
Good King Wenceslas looked out on the feast of Stephen, when the snow lay round about, deep and crisp and even. Brightly shone the moon that night, though the frost was cruel, when a poor man came in sight, gathering winter fuel. In the page and stand by me, if thou knowest telling, yonder peasant who is he, where and what is dwelling?
Simon lives a goodly place underneath the mountains, right against the forest fence, by St. Agnes' fountain.
Bring me flesh and bring me wine, bring me prime lost hither. Now and I will see him dine, when we bear him thither. Page and monarch, forth they went together, through the rude swath of pent, and the bitter weather.
Silent night is darker now, and the wind blows stronger. Fails my heart, I know not how. I can go no longer.
Mark my footsteps, good my page, tread thou in them boldly. Thou shalt find the winter's rage, freeze thy bloodless coldly.
Final verse, everyone.
In his master's steps he trod, where the snow lay dinted. Heat was in the very soil, which the saint had printed. Therefore, Christian men, be sure, wealth or rank possessing, he who now will bless the poor, shall your souls find
Does anybody have anything they want to do? Get up here and sing anything, play anything? Okay, if you don't, then now we drink some wine. Thank you very much.
Thank you.